The UCLA Bruins were one of the newest teams that joined the Big Ten in 2024, and unfortunately, they didn't see as much team success as they were hoping for. This is a Bruins program that was kind of a mess in terms of players they lost in the portal, as well as some controversy on the coaching staff, but they still have two prospects who have been generating quite a bit of buzz entering the 2025 NFL Draft. We did a linebacker video on Carson Schwesinger, but edge rusher Oluwafemi Oladejo, better known as Femi Oladejo, is an incredibly intriguing defensive line prospect with some very nice tools and upside. In an edge class loaded with talent, how high could we see Oladejo get taken in the 2025 NFL Draft? That's what we will be going over in today's video. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon page, where for $5 a month, you guys will be given exclusive access to my in-depth draft guide and big board, with over 500 different scouting reports, written up evaluations, combine and pro day numbers, and so much more. It is one of the best resources on the market, and if you want to get ahead on some of these NFL draft prospects, I highly recommend checking it out. Leave a comment and let me know which prospects you guys would like to see in a future video, and without further ado, let's take a closer look at Femi Oladejo. Oladejo has one of the most interesting stories in the entire draft class. He started his collegiate career at Cal and transferred to UCLA in 2023, where he played linebacker for the Bruins. I studied his linebacker tape this summer, and he was alright, but I did not think he was going to be that great of a player. His production was not amazing, and UCLA decided to move him to edge rusher for the 2024 season, and he really flashed some upside there. He played 662 snaps and had 33 pressures, 7 sacks, 37 tackles, and 29 run stops on the season for the Bruins. But then he went to the Senior Bowl, and he really popped up on people's radars. He dominated the practice sessions, he had 2 sacks in the game, and now Mel Kiper has him as a first-round pick. It has been a wild journey, but it is one that I am excited to follow throughout the entire draft process. Oladejo has fantastic size for the defensive line, and he is built like a Greek god. He is 6'2", 261 pounds, and he has very good arm length as well. He has 33.5-inch arms, which is well above average, and he has a frame that still feels like he could add on mass if you needed him to, which I think NFL teams are going to appreciate. The first thing that really sticks out when you watch Oladejo is his incredible first step off the line of scrimmage. He has absolutely phenomenal burst off the line, and he is such a fluid mover for his size. But the best part about his burst is that he knows how to convert his speed to power. Oladejo has one of the best bull rushes in the draft class, and he's so strong and has such great athleticism. It's apparent that he cares. Oladejo has a very strong motor and is constantly fighting through offensive linemen until the whistle is blown. He's got a power profile as a pass rusher, and I love that type of mentality, and I think it's going to suit him well in the NFL. Having the linebacker background, I think makes Oladejo one of the more versatile defensive players in the draft class. There were times in 2024 when UCLA would drop him back into coverage, and he still has those instincts. He's a fluid mover, and I think he has a high football IQ. He has played in a variety of different alignments throughout his collegiate career, and has overall been very successful no matter where he's played. I think NFL teams are going to love just how versatile of a prospect he can be for their defense. I think one of the biggest concerns that I have about Oladejo is his lack of a pass rush plan. He's remarkable off the line of scrimmage. He has great speed to power, and he shows active hands and good bend from time to time, which are great tools to see. But overall, he has just not fully figured out how to be a consistent pass rusher and how to win with finesse. His pad level is incredibly inconsistent, and it doesn't appear like he fully understands what he's doing as a pass rusher. There are certainly plays on tape where he flashes tremendous upside, but as of right now, there aren't a whole lot of those. I would like to see him be more consistent with his hands and develop more counter moves as a pass rusher rather than being so reliant on his athleticism. I also worry about him when it comes to run defense, strictly because I don't think the processing is all the way there, particularly on RPOs and counter runs. He bit way too hard at times, overextending, leaving his gap, and giving the rusher a wide open rushing lane. He needs to be more disciplined as a run defender and show better gap control. Once again, there are plays on tape where he shows unbelievable upside as a run defender. He's a very hard hitter, and there's a play that he had against Iowa this year where he gets into the backfield and tackles Caleb Johnson at the blink of an eye, and you love to see those, but then again, there just aren't a whole lot of those plays, and he's got to be more disciplined at reading RPOs. Oladejo is a very raw defensive line prospect, but when you factor in that he's only been playing the edge rusher position for one season and he already shows this much promise, you have a potentially sky-high ceiling. I watched his edge tape back in November and he immediately stuck out to me as a guy, and it is incredibly intriguing seeing the consensus come around on him being a very good prospect. He is consistently moving up my draft board, but I currently have him as my number 12 edge rusher and my number 57 overall prospect. He's a monster who I think is going to be an immediate impact for a team in multiple ways. In terms of a scheme fit, the plays where I liked Oladejo the most and where I felt he was the most impactful was when he had his hand in the dirt as a 4-3 edge. That's where I felt he was consistently at his best. He will have to do a better job at maintaining a low pad level because when he plays lower to the ground, he's able to generate more power and he's able to win more consistently, and that's where he's dangerous. That's where I would play him. I think he's a 4-3 edge in the NFL. My pro comparison for Oladejo is Kansas City Chiefs edge rusher Felix Anudike-Uzomah. Uzomah was a prospect I really liked when he was coming out of the draft. He's really explosive off the line of scrimmage, he showed some upside as a run defender, and he is a phenomenal power rusher. All of those are traits I love about Oladejo, and I think he may be even farther along as a pass rusher than Uzomah was, particularly with his bend and flexibleness as a rusher. Uzomah has not fully been acclimated into a starting role for the Chiefs just yet, but has been relatively productive when he has seen playing time. I think that Oladejo could have a very similar play style and be used in a very similar way to what the Chiefs have done with Anudike-Uzomah. Oluwafemi Oladejo is scratching the surface. His upside is phenomenal, and athletes with this type of power profile who are such fluid movers do not come along this often. He still has developing to do, but ultimately, I believe that Oluwafemi Oladejo will be a top 75 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft.